everyone. So today I will talk about the national music of Armenia. So the music of Armenia has its origins in Anatolia and the Caucasus Mountains, where people traditionally sang popular folk songs, usually sung by Ashuls, the most famous one probably being Sayat Nova. Armenia has a long musical tradition, and its music has been represented in recent times by artists such as Tigran, a worldwide renowned duduk player, and Armenian pop singers such as Sirusho, Andre, and Arif Pambukjan. Armenia is also renowned for its classical music tradition, with composers on the level of Aram Khachaturian, Arno Babachanyan, and Edward Baldasayan. Here I show you some pictures. This is Sayat Nova. This is Jivan Gasparian, a famous duduk player.
Yeah, we're going to share some links.
And this is duduk. This is I talked about pop singer Sirusho, who is very famous in Armenia.
Yeah, she took part in Eurovision contest.
This is Aram Khachaturian. I hope you guys know him. And this is Arno Babachanyan.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I will talk about different genres. So let's start with folk music. Armenians have had a long tradition of folk music from the antiquity and during the Ottoman times. Well, under Soviet domination, Armenian folk music has taught its state-sponsored conservatories. Instruments played include kanon, davul, oud, duduk, zurna, belul, shvi, and to lesser degree saz. Other instruments are often used, such as violin and clarinet. The duduk is Armenia's national instrument, and among the well-known performers are Markad Markaryan, Levon Madoyan, Saru Danielian, Hovsepyan, and as well as Armenia's most famous duduk player, Jivan Gasparian, which picture I showed you. So, earlier in Armenian history, instruments like the kamancha were played by popular traveling musicians called ashuls. Sayat Nova, an 18th century ashul, is revered in Armenia. Performers such as Armenak Shahmudjan, Halik Muradyan, and Hamlet Kevorkyan were famous in Armenia and are still acclaimed. The most notable female vocalists in Armenian folk genre have been Araxia Gurzadyan, Rima Saribekyan, and Flora Martirosyan. So, another example of an Armenian folk singer is Atotunç Boyacan, who is a well-known Turkish musician of Armenian descent, who is famous in Turkey and worldwide, and currently has its own jazz club in Yerevan, Armenia. Now I'll show you some pictures. So this is a folk singer Armenian, Flora Martirosyan, who died recently. So, and this is Atotunç Boyacan, who I told you has a jazz club in Yerevan. Now I will talk about classical music. Armenian classical composers include Kemani Tatyozyev, one of the best remembered composers of Ottoman classical music. Alexander Spendiarov, Armen Tigranyan, and Hovsepyan are best known for their Armenian operas. Sarkis Bakudaryan and Karol Zakaryan are representative composers of the pre- and early Soviet Armenian era. The most famous, however, was Aram Khachaturian, internationally well known especially for his music for various ballets and the immortal saber dance from his composition for the ballet Gayane. And now I'll talk about religious music. Armenian chant, composed in one of 8 modes, is the most common kind of religious music in Armenia. It is written in khaz, a form of indigenous musical notation. Armenian religious music remained liturgical until Komitas Laptapen introduced polyphony to the end of the 19th century. Apart from his contribution to religious music, Komitas may be considered the founder of modern classical